The branch moves beneath you. Not much. Just enough to wake you. Above, leaves scrape against one another. Below, the ground is invisible. Somewhere beyond the tree, something heavy breathes through its nose. For millions of years, sleeping high made sense. Many primates still build nests in trees, bending branches into a bowl and lining them with leaves. Height separates the sleeper from some predators, wet soil, and the crawling population that considers exposed skin a public resource. But tonight, in this reconstruction, an early hominin does something dangerous. It climbs down. No archaeologist can identify the first night an ancestor chose the ground. There is no fossil labeled "first sleepover," please do not disturb. What evidence can show is that the move eventually happened, and that it created a survival problem large enough to change human behavior. The ground is easier than a tree in almost every way while you are awake. A larger body can rest without balancing on branches. Infants can be placed nearby. Food, tools, and fuel can be gathered in one space. A group can sit together. A fire can be maintained. Injured or older individuals do not need to climb before becoming unconscious. Then, everyone closes their eyes. Now the advantages reverse. The ground holds moisture. It steals body heat. It contains insects, snakes, sharp stones, and predators that already live at the correct altitude. A sleeper cannot run, inspect tracks, or interpret the pair of eyes just beyond the firelight. Sleep is not passive rest in this world. It is a nightly surrender of control. The first solution is not a bed, it is location. The group chooses a place with fewer approaches. A rock wall protects one side, an overhang blocks rain. Elevated dry ground avoids runoff. A narrow entrance makes large animals easier to detect. The camp is not yet architecture, but the landscape is being used like architecture. The second solution is proximity. One body asleep is vulnerable. 10 bodies create ears, noses, movement, and overlapping rhythms. People do not all become deeply unconscious at the same moment. Children wake. Older adults sleep lightly. Some individuals stay awake later. Others rise before dawn. Nobody needs to invent a formal night watch with scheduling software. Natural differences create gaps in sleep, and those gaps may leave the camp rarely silent. Then the breathing outside gets closer. This is where fire changes the night. A maintained flame provides light, warmth, smoke, and some protection from animals that prefer darkness around their food. It lets the group see movement before movement reaches the sleeping area. It allows people to remain socially active after sunset. But fire creates a new obligation. It must survive the night. Someone gathers wood before dark. Someone protects dry tinder. Someone moves a burning branch. Someone wakes and adds fuel. The technology that makes sleep safer also creates the first maintenance shift. And now another problem appears beneath the body. Bare soil is cold. Stone is worse. Wet earth absorbs warmth. Small irregularities locate the exact parts of the spine most likely to complain. So someone moves vegetation. Dry grass, leaves, reeds, branches. Not because a genius suddenly invents furniture, but because one patch feels warmer than another. A thicker layer traps air. A hide blocks wind. A shallow depression supports the body. Useful observations accumulate. The first bed is not an object. It is a sequence of decisions made before lying down. Choose the dry place. Clear the sharp material. Lay vegetation. Keep fire nearby. Place vulnerable people toward the protected center. Listen before closing the eyes. This scene sounds plausible, but archaeology becomes far more specific when we reach Border Cave, a rock shelter on the border of South Africa and Eswatini. Microscopic plant remains there indicate that humans were preparing bedding surfaces roughly 200,000 years ago. Grasses were concentrated in occupation areas. Some bedding rested over ash. Researchers have also identified traces of aromatic plants that may have discouraged insects. The detail that matters most is not that humans slept on grass. Many animals make nests. The remarkable part is maintenance. Old bedding accumulated sweat, Food particles, skin, insects, and waste. It became less like a mattress and more like a rapidly expanding urban center for parasites. At Border Cave, burned plant material and repeated layers suggest that sleeping surfaces were cleared, burned, renewed, or placed over ash. Ash can absorb moisture and obstruct crawling arthropods. Fire could destroy old organic material and reduce pests. The sleeping place was being managed. That changes the meaning of the first night on the ground. Ground sleeping did not become safe because humans stopped being afraid of predators. It became possible because groups learned to create a controlled zone inside a dangerous landscape. And once that zone existed, the night itself changed. A tree nest isolates a sleeper. A ground camp concentrates people. Around the fire, movement slows. Tools are repaired. Food is shared. Children hear conversations that would not happen during a hunt. Stories begin after immediate work has ended. Plans are made. Arguments continue because human innovation has never included knowing when to stop discussing something. The fire extends social time. That does not mean one particular camp invented storytelling on a cold evening. Language leaves no fossil. But studies of living foraging communities show that conversation around fires often shifts away from practical daytime tasks toward stories, social relationships, distant people, and the supernatural. The ground did more than support sleeping bodies. It placed those bodies close enough for night to become collective. There was a cost. Predators remained dangerous. Smoke damaged lungs and eyes. Parasites adapted. Fires could spread. Camps produced waste. Sleeping close to others meant noise, crying children, movement, conflict, and the prehistoric discovery that one person can occupy far more sleeping space than their body appears to require. But the benefits were enormous. Infants could be protected without climbing. Injured people could remain near the group. Heat could be shared. Knowledge could circulate after dark. Food and tools could stay in a common space. Trust became practical. To sleep beside another person is to assume they will not attack you, abandon you, or allow something hungry to enter the camp unnoticed. That is a social contract made while unconscious. Now return to the first night. The branch is gone, the ground is hard, the fire is small. Beyond the light, the breathing has stopped, or moved farther away. One person is still awake, another adds a piece of wood without fully opening their eyes. A child shifts beneath a hide. Someone hears a sound and waits. The group does not know that this arrangement will eventually lead to houses, bedrooms, locks, mattresses, and people paying extra for pillows designed by orthopedic engineers. They know only that the ground was dangerous yesterday. Tonight, it is slightly less dangerous because they prepared it together. Humans did not leave the trees and immediately invent the bed. They invented the protected night. The furniture came much later.